with all of her hired help and all the money she has, I guarantee you she has way more space and time and grace than most of us. Probably more than 95% of the world. She has such privilege. She's such a victim, and this is such a joke. And if you have stayed with me this long, you need a medal. You need something, a hug, a nap, maybe a nice glass of wine or a glass of iced tea or something. I don't know, whatever you like, but treat yourself. That's what my husband would always say when we were dating and we would go out and we would look at the menu and I would be like, what do I want? And he'd be like, treat yourself. Like, we all need to treat ourselves after this.
Wow, I'm using this opportunity to share, and I love that, but I also need to use this opportunity to listen. I have very valuable insight coming from women who've been through this before. And if I'm not going to take the cue that we are teaching people, what's the point? So does it mean it won't come back? No. But I would love to bring the show back when I am at a different end.
She's not going to bring this show back because this latest round, this podcast, it's not successful. People don't see her as a founder because they know she's not a successful businesswoman. Just like how people didn't like the Archetypes podcast because all she did was take labels and criticism that people levied at her and clap back at it for 12 episodes. Pity me, poor me. Don't call me this, don't call me that. I'm going to tell you why I'm not that. So she was just a victim moaner in that podcast. For this podcast, she's posing as a successful entrepreneur that's at the end of the journey that has built an empire when technically she ain't there. So this next thing, if she does do another podcast, she's going to have to develop a completely different persona. I mean, the only way I could see a third podcast of hers succeeding is if she called it like grifting from a grifter or something like that, where she basically laid it all bare and just did a podcast where she was like, this is how I conned the royal family. You know, people would listen to that and people would at least give her props for at least finally once in her life telling the truth. Grifters gone grift.
My founder journey. When I've gone
Your
on
founder
through
journey. Okay.
Q4,
Q4.
and say, here are my proof points. Here's this. Wow, what a year it's been. Or even longer than that. I think a different time will be so exciting just to be able to compare and contrast. But yeah, I know people want another one. I just made a choice to say, it's a really good time to put all of my energy into the thing that I'm building.
She knows people want another one. She knows why, because chart position of it week after week as it went and down and down and down tells you that everyone's just salivating for another season.
Is an absolute necessity.
Yes.
If you want to be successful, right? Like just doubling down and being excellent at what you're trying to do is just one of the most simple and powerful things that you can do in business. Like just giving everything to one thing. And it's so difficult when you have so much opportunity.
Did you see her? When she isn't following the question very well or trying to remember the next talking point that she prepared, but she's kind of a little bit like discombobulated in her head because she's trying to listen to what Emma's saying, but yet she's also trying to formulate what she's going to say and what she's rehearsed. She gets that blank. Or when she doesn't agree with what someone's saying, like when Emma said, I felt desperate. I wanted someone to invest in me. Or, hey, I just really want to make money. Like as if to, don't associate me with that. She's a terrible actress in the sense that she really does reveal everything on her face and with her body.
It's like you're the hot girl that's out there and you have a lot of opportunity. It's hard to say, no, I'm going to put this thing first. Were there things from the podcast that you have taken like straight into your business?
Yes. Again, this idea, and we talked about that earlier, that someone else's urgency is not my urgency. Most of the women that I spoke to are working moms. And this is
That's a big deal.
Yes. And this is such a key age.
Yeah, they're millionaires and billionaires with hired help. But okay, what else you got, Megan?
And I love that I can do drop off and pick up at school and do meetings in between and go to Disneyland for 2 days, as we just did, and volunteer to serve hot lunch at school or be the chaperone for the kindergarten field.
She's always trying to talk about how she drops her kids off. You notice how she always talks about dropping her kids off at school? That's bare minimum stuff, y'all. Bare minimum stuff. Or it's stuff that she does and maybe pats herself on the back for because all the hired help is doing everything else. I don't know. It's really wonky to me. If you're a mom, you just do it. You just do it and you don't want an award for it. Okay. She's constantly wanting to remind us that she's a mom, she's a mom, she's a mom, she's a mom, which tells me that she's not a very active or involved mother, in my opinion.
You're so good. You're making me look so bad.
No, stop that.
I never volunteer.
Well, you can start.
No, I cannot. I don't want to. Well, then that's...
See, that right there is authentic. At least Emma's keeping it real, because she's just saying, yeah, I just don't want to volunteer, and I don't want to. And she's not really apologizing for it either. You would never see Meghan do that, because Meghan wants you to believe that she's everything. She does it all. She does it all.
People often say to me, you know, Emma, like, is it bad that I go and drop my kids every day? Is it bad that I want to volunteer? I'm like, no, you have to do what you want to do.
What feels right
you
for
have
you.
to do the thing that makes your heart sing in the morning. For me, it's like, I don't want to volunteer, so I don't. But there's lots of other things that for me are just non-negotiables, right? It's like, I like to put my kids' outfits together. I'm crazy about their packed lunches. Now, I don't pack them, but it's like, I know what's in every lunch.
See, that's also something that you would never hear Meghan say. So Emma is a billionaire. Okay. Well, Forbes says she is, but whatever. So she's saying that she doesn't like to pack lunches. She doesn't pack them. She knows what's in them. But Meghan would never say that. Meghan wants you to believe that she does it all, because she's constantly trying to people please, in the sense that you'll admire her and respect her and think that she's so wonderful, because she's just trying to show you that I do all of this
every day, because that's just the type of person I am.
I
so
love
you have
packing
to
the
choose.
lunchbox.
You do?
Yes,
Oh,
that's like,
stop it, Meghan. No, you don't. Do you
Yes,
do
I
it?
do.
Lisa, do you like make shapes and like make it look all beautiful? Is it
See, even Emma doesn't buy this crap.
a sprinkle situation? Are we putting
Sometimes.
Oh my God.
I love.
My kids are all going to move into your house.
No, stop. I think, but look, to your point,
Please no, do not let your children anywhere near this woman.
like, that sounds ridiculous, but I love it. At the end of a long day, the kids are
It
down to bed
does.
at like seven-ish, and go downstairs, have a glass of wine. I'm doing
Yeah,
their little
see?
lunch, but
She's
I
always
find joy
touching
in
your
it
nose.
for
Yes,
whatever
you
reason.
are.
And it can be therapeutic.
Yes. So that for me is one of my simple pleasures. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that works for me. What works for you works for you. But I think with all of the projects that I had going at the same time, and how much.
And that also is a kind of subtle put down, because she wants everyone to think that she is the best mother of all time, and to tell Emma, oh, but it's okay that you don't do that. You know, everyone has their thing, but I really love to do it all. It is a kind of subtle put down to my ears
The
anyway.
valuation that I put on time with my family
Yes.
is so high.
It's critical.
It matters so much to both.
And I said this before in a video a while back, where she's used that word before when she talks about her family, when she says valuation, my valuation of time with my family, where she is assigning value to time with her family. But it sounds good on the surface, but when you think about it, time with your family is actually priceless. You can't put a price on family. But for her, because she's a narcissist and everything is transactional, she's putting a value on it, but she's not valuing it in the sense of for what it is. It's just pure love and family. She's putting the value on it because then she can speak of it to us in the public domain, as if, look, this is another reason to like and admire and respect me, because I put such high value on time with my family. So it's this currency that she is trying to exchange with us, if that makes sense. But that is what I see here. You don't put a price or a value on something that's priceless.
That
My husband and I.
yeah, I just wouldn't trade that for anything. And so I think it's really important to have that conversation with yourself, especially if you're ambitious, to say, all of these things are exciting to me and I can do all of them well enough. But can you do all of them exceptionally well?
No, you
Probably
can't.
not. Something is going to not get the same love.
So if that's the case, Meghan, then stop trying to prove to us that you can do all of these things exceptionally well, because that's all she tries to do all the time. She's constantly contradicting herself. I mean, how many times has she contradicted herself just in this interview alone? It's
Love and
crazy.
attention that
Yes.
it needs. And so to be able to say, what's my focus right now? My family always, and growing as ever. And to be able to be so committed to those two things fills my cup in a very different way, because there's time for the rest of it.
Yeah, there's going to be time.
Yeah.
There's nothing in you though that's like, oh, there's like this little thing over here that I could possibly do, because I struggle with that. I love starting new projects, and a new project for me is like very, very, very hard to turn down.
Yeah.
So, and again, I say the same thing to you. It's like when you have so much opportunity It must be difficult to just go.
She does have a ton of projects, Emma, but she doesn't see them through, and she doesn't work them. Like, she has these plans, but she doesn't work the plans. And then when she gets criticized for these half-assed worked plans, she just dumps them and starts something new. So maybe Emma would take a new project, and enter into it head on and actually do something with it and make something of it. But you're not talking to somebody that does or thinks about things like that. Meghan doesn't think about things like that. She wants instant gratification and instant respect and admiration. She wants to be thought of as a successful entrepreneur that is a billionaire already, but she hasn't proven herself. So I don't know if Emma really understands who she's having an interview with. She doesn't.
Priority.
Now that I can see with more dedicated focus on the brand, knowing our trajectory, looking at the business plan, being able to pinpoint where these key moments are going to be, I can also very comfortably say, as this continues to grow to where I want it to scale, what's my next thing going to be? Because that dreaming.
She's talking about scaling this business where she can't even fulfill simple orders and keep the stock in stock on her website, but she's already framing this whole thing as a scalable enterprise. Scale means that your business is so successful that it essentially runs on its own, and then you sell it off and make a ton of money. She's not there. She's deluded. These narcissists are freaking deluded, and they believe their own BS. And then they get pissed off when we don't believe it.
Phase and daydreaming. It's really key, I think, to keep your creative juices flowing. And that doesn't go anywhere. And I think a lot of that.
Beige is not creative. Flour sprinkles that look like rabbit food and tea and shortbread cookies are not creative. Sorry.
What's the common thread as you were going through Confessions of a Female Founder? What do you think the common thread was with the entrepreneurs that you interviewed in terms of like successful founders, the way they think about strategy?
They all, no matter their background, they all were.
Okay, hold on. We have to get clear on what Emma asked her. Emma asked her, what was the common thread that you took from all these entrepreneurs that you interviewed? So let's see what she says. Let's see if she actually can give us a good juicy nugget, something that we could take home and say like, wow, like we learned something. Or is it just some hollow platitude? Let's see what she says.
Incredibly focused. They all have regrets. They all have regrets. Most of them regretting not spending more time with their family, or taking things personally. A lot of them talk about.
That's really, really boring, shallow answer. Everyone has regrets and everyone wants to spend time with their family. It's like that saying, when you're on your deathbed, no one wishes that they would have spent more time at the office. I mean, she had 8 podcast interviews with people that like Sarah Blakely, that's a billionaire. And that's what she comes away with.
About that.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
Taking things personally? Yeah, of course. I'm human. And
how about, this is how they worked their business plans. This is how they conceived of their ideas. This is how they looked for funding. This is how, I don't have a business podcast, but I at least even know to say that if someone like Emma asked me that question, and if I was making up crap as I went along like she is, I could come up with a better answer on the fly. Like what I just said sounds better than, they have regrets and they're really focused. I swear I can't take this anymore.
That can be really hard. So you can do all the practices and things that you want to do, but at the end of the day, you're still human. You're still going to cry. You're still going to take something to heart, especially if you poured so much of yourself into it.
Yeah.
When I want the jam spread thin, I mean spread thin on toast, right? I mean, I want everything that I'm thinking about that I have poured my heart and soul into. It's not just jam. Could I just go and make a preserve somewhere and stick my name on it? Of course.
Which is exactly what she's done. These narcissists hide in plain sight. She just told us what she's doing, slapped her name on something and present it as, her idea. That's what she's doing with As Ever. She just told us. That is the big truth nugget.
Not what
There.
I wanted to
That's not it.
do.
Hiding in plain sight.
So I loved that it was winning all these
That
wine
is what
taste
you've
tests.
done.
And I love that people loved it. Oh, I was making out in my kitchen. That's how you'd feel here at my house. It works. And
That's not what I saw. There was a lot of reviews out there where people were like, this stuff is not that good. It's runny. It's kind of tart. Or some people were saying it's overly sweet. Like there wasn't a consensus. I could go to my local grocery store and buy Smucker's jam and have it be a consistent flavor profile, meaning it tastes good.
so if there's some hiccup along the way
I'm getting punchy.
that doesn't land in the same way, even like in
We're
a
almost
small
done.
internal team on how it's tracking, I go, well, okay, whew, all right, I was really excited about it, but let's think about how we can make this something that really works at scale, because I don't want this to be a niche product line. But yeah, taking things personally is a human reaction.
You know, it's so interesting because it seems to be just the men. They talk about how much fun they have, like in the deal, in the failure, but like they're just like, that's fun to me.
So I guess men have fun, screw them. And I don't understand. I'm so sick of this men versus women stuff. Are you guys as sick of that as I am?
Because as women, we tend to take things so much more personally. And that means when things don't go well, or when you have those inevitable failures, you have a bad drop, you have a bad product, you have something that kind of, hits the fan, whatever it is, that becomes about us. And I feel like I've trained myself to say,
Did you see her body language? Because she does take everything personally all the time. That's why she looks so uncomfortable when Emma's talking about that kind of stuff. Like we as women tend to take things personally. I don't agree with that. I think people are people, men, women. Some men take some stuff really personally and others don't, just like some women do and some women don't. But what Emma's saying is what Meghan does. And that's why Meghan looks like she's squirming in her seat there.
That's not me. That's that thing, right? It's like that thing
that
didn't
is
work.
her.
It's not like I didn't
That's
work.
good advice.
I couldn't make it happen. And it just struck me somewhat like the couple of men that have been on this podcast, and I've made a point to make sure that I have a lot of men here because I think we have so much to learn from all of these very, very successful men. And that.
Yeah, Meghan doesn't like men very much. I don't think so. She's always stepping on the backs of men to get everywhere that she wants to be.
Mindset
my
to me
opinion.
really struck me because I was like,
wow,
you're having fun, definitely not taking these failures as your own.
Right. You're like, I'm crying in the corner and you're
right. But there's a real distinction in that somehow that, it's not about them. They can easily just say like, this was something that happened.
I think inherently probably just listening to what you're saying as women, and maybe that's part of that conditioning when we're young, we're people pleasing as well. So in leadership, you want everyone to like you.
Yeah, you can't be.
Well, Meghan's people pleasing in the sense that she wants to please people to get something out of them. So for her to say that all women are people pleasing, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think there could be truth in that. Women are definitely more emotional, sympathetic, empathetic. We want to please, hopefully, in a place that comes from love. But she's framing it as if you're a people pleaser, that makes you weak. You see, that's how she plays with language. Now, you want to please people and you want to be a good person because that's what Christ commands you to do. But you don't want to be a doormat. But the way these toxic feminists try to phrase all this stuff, it's as if women are conditioned to people please, and don't you do that because you just can't be a doormat. Well, there's a wide gap there. She's got a really unhealthy way of looking at men and women and how they're supposed to relate to each other and be in each other's lives. It's kind of sad. Well, it's a lot sad.
Be a people pleaser and a leader.
No, and I think ultimately one of the biggest lessons that you can learn, no matter if it's in high school,
tell us,
it will still feel
Meghan.
big, or in a high profile position, or just as a business leader. No, there's not a single person in the world that everyone's going to like.
No.
So the goal cannot be that everyone likes you. The goal can be that everyone respects you. And as
people respect people that tell the truth and are genuine and are good people. You haven't shown us any of that,
a woman,
Meghan.
to make
That's why
peace with
people don't
that, I think
respect
can
you.
be a life's work, frankly. But the moment that
You're-
can click,
Stop
and
playing
that
the
you aren't,
victim perpetually.
as I said before, in the prove it game, where you're not trying to prove something to everybody anymore, that you're very clear.
She's showing up in this interview to participate in the prove it game. She's still in it.
and ultimately be much
Right.
more successful, because many men would not be tethered to this idea of needing everyone to like them.
Well, she's definitely tethered to the idea of needing to have everyone like her. But that I don't think has anything to do with being a woman. I think it has everything to do with being a malignant narcissist. Because when you're a narcissist, you do not love yourself. At the core of your being is self-loathing. Something happened to you in your childhood that made you doubt your worth. And especially when these people don't have God in their lives and they don't feel that they're worthy just because the fact that our Savior breathed us into existence, they have a hole inside of them, a big, deep hole. And she is self-loathing, and most narcissists are. And because they're self-loathing, they have to portray this facade that they are above everyone else. And they not only have to believe that, but they have to convince everyone else around them that they are worthy, that they are better, that they are this, that they are that. And it's constant. It's constant. It's odd. It's like there's a ton of self-loathing, and there's also a lot of self-love kind of mixed in with it, but it's a kind of weird dynamic. But there's no self-introspection. There's no space to try to learn from mistakes and be better, because when you're a narcissist, the problem's always outside of you, if that makes sense.
One point. You speak a lot about financial literacy. What's your own relationship to money like? Because that is one of the things that really evolves the older that you get. And so I wonder what that feels like now as you enter this new journey as a founder.
I think my background really informs this. I grew up clipping coupons. I was always money conscious, always looking for.
She was from an upper middle class family. She went to private schools her entire life. She went to Northwestern University. Her father paid for everything. So when she's trying to show herself as being a coupon clipping, put upon half black, half white child raised in a horrible society, and it's just, come on. This is such garbage.
Sale, right? In high school, college, always find the promo code. I still go on Retail Me Not before I buy something online to see if there's a promo code, even if it's free shipping. I'm just ingrained and wired in that way. And then as an auditioning actor, you never know when your next paycheck is coming. So you're very, very mindful of spending. And so I've been very financially responsible for a long time. And I've applied that in a lot of ways where, yes, even if there is incredible capital to be able to work with to build the brand.
It's really easy to spend other people's money, isn't it, Megan? Yep. That's really easy to do. You spent your father's money. You spent your first husband's money. You're spending Harry's money. That's why you're not scared of failure.
Brand. I'm not frivolous in spending. It's just.
Something tells me that when she was divorced from Trevor and those periods when she was single, globetrotting, looking for a rich man, I think that was probably the point in her life where she was more watchful of what she was spending and what she was doing, because she knew that the money was not infinite. You know, she had this little amount to kind of save and play with. That's why she was so desperate to find a rich British husband, so that she could again live the lifestyle to which she was accustomed.
It's not in you.
It's not in me. No, it's not in me. And so I think that is part of the learning when you have a large partner as well, that there's more comfort in numbers going out the door. Whereas I would go, well, hold on a minute.
Wait a minute.
Hold on a minute. I have a friend
I
that
don't
can
do Netflix money.
No, I have a friend that can do that. What's the quote on that?
I mean, that feels so responsible, and exactly as you should be running a startup, because
I've said it before, I'll say it again. A startup is when you have an entrepreneur who got a small business loan at the Wells Fargo down the street, or got money from friends or family, and you got one shot to make it, and you got your little taco truck that you run in addition to your full-time job. She's not a startup. You're not a startup when Netflix is your business partner, okay? Let's be very clear about this.
but it feels to me like what you're trying to build isn't necessarily about that. You have a distinct product and a distinct offering that you're putting out into the world. And so you have to tinker with that. You have to get it just right. And you have to do things that you're really proud of.
Yeah. And part of tinkering with it and getting it just right is making sure that the crap's in stock.
Incredibly proud of. And also when you're not trying to be trend driven.
What are you proud of exactly?
To jump on a trend. There is no rush if you're working towards something that could ultimately and hopefully become a.
So she's basically laying bare that she doesn't really give a crap about this business. She really, really doesn't. She doesn't care that she can't fulfill orders. All she cares about is that people are talking about it and that it's in the news. It's in the news and she's getting the headlines, whether they're positive or whether they're negative. It doesn't matter. She will spend the money on the PR. And I think the money was running out. So she had to have the business put the stories out there. So she doesn't necessarily have to do the hard push to pay for the PR the way she did before this As Ever thing, because the As Ever failure that it is what's getting her headlines now. But how long is this going to go on? I mean, think about it. Maybe she should just work hard or should have worked hard. And why didn't you come to the table with Netflix with a really, really good idea for content? Something that didn't involve trashing your families, or something that didn't involve this last minute 11th hour idea for this like jam shortbread company that actually she told us that Netflix executive Bella Bajari was the one that came up with the idea, because she was just making jam in her house, giving people fruit baskets or whatever it is. It's like, why don't you spend time being an actual podcaster? Don't go on Emma's podcast. Spend some time developing your own show. Maybe do a little bit of hard work.
Heritage
Please,
brand.
woman.
Yes.
When you're looking for what is like my personal aesthetic, I find
a
it to be
heritage
classic.
brand already, right? A heritage brand is like Pottery Barn, Williams Sonoma. Those are heritage brands. Martha Stewart, heritage brand. As Ever, big fat flop.
There is a reason that I'm sure there was puff sleeves were cool and trendy for a moment. I didn't catch that trend. I wasn't doing that.
You were still in your white button down.
I was still in my crisp white button down and jeans. And so, when I look at the brand through that same lens, I think it's really important to say then there isn't the same sense of urgency and rush, because you're not trying to meet a moment. You're trying to meet something that can be evergreen.
Yeah, you're doing something that's that's class.
Let's see if As Ever survives the 5-year mark. If it does turn out to be like a Williams Sonoma and all that, you know what? So many of us out here will be like, fine, we stand corrected. Good on you, Meghan. But the way that she's running it, and then the way she's trying to present it, in contrast to what we're seeing unfold with our own eyes, there's a disconnect there. She's lying about something. She's stretching the truth about something. She's manipulating facts. She's hiding facts. She's doing so much to show us that don't matter to her. But yet she's sitting here for an hour and a half talking about the fact that she's this founder who's now the next thing she's going to do is scale it.
And has tradition. And like you said, it's like it's an evergreen proposition.
Yes.
Sounds like it will be a wonderful business.
Thank you.
A business for the long term.
Sure,
what are you
Jan.
most proud of in your career when you think about everything that you've done today?
In my career,
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
My
Or in your like in your career and your business life, if you like.
investing in myself. I'd spent so many years.
That's all she does, is invest in herself and count on herself and look
since
out
we
for
came
numero
over here,
uno.
really.
So of
even
course
prior
she'd
to
say
that,
that. Well, that's at least
investing in
truthful.
the success of other women and their companies.
There she goes.
And I love being able to do
Touching
that as
the
we talk
nose
about with
again.
fashion. And I
Investing.
love being able to have a
Okay,
portfolio,
sure.
female founders. But I do think it takes a little bit of courage to bet on yourself. And that's felt really good.
It doesn't take courage. It's what you've done your whole life, is look out for yourself. How does that take courage? It might take courage to actually admit to your faults and admit to the truth. We're all human beings that sin. And you know what? We all have things to work on. But she's got a bigger obligation to admit to these uncomfortable truths, because she's in the public domain lying, in my opinion, and manipulating people, in my opinion, and breaking up families. That's not my opinion. She has broken up 2 families. This dark cloud of dissent only started when she married into that family. Not to say that there wasn't things going on in the family. Yes, but this fraction that we're seeing in his family and her family, the common denominator there is Meghan, ladies and gentlemen.
It really does. What's the most surprising thing that you've learned about yourself as you've been in this brand building moment of your life?
That I can bounce back.
She bounces back easily because she ignores the criticism and she just flits and flitters on to every new thing. So if you call that bouncing back,
Made plans for your brand. And if you are too attached to it, when you do have to pivot, that can be crushing. And to learn that, as I was saying earlier, it's a dance. Okay, well, let's take a minute, get our footing and dance over here.
Yeah.
Let's twirl over there.
that is a non-answer. She asked her, what have you learned in your business? She hasn't answered the question yet, has she?
About men in business, being able to find the playfulness and joy in it, even though the stakes are high.
Yes.
She's just going back, glossing over past things they just talked about a few minutes ago. She's not bringing a new answer to the question.
Just really try to have fun in all of it.
It's a great muscle to
Here
try
we
and
go.
train
Have
yourself,
fun.
like
Yeah,
to
we
get
all know
there.
you're having
to be
a
playful in it.
shit ton of fun, Megan.
Who are your idols?
Great.
I'm obsessed with Oprah, so if you could tell her for me, please.
Oh, I'll tell her.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you know her? Have you met her?
Oh my God, Megan.
Have you met her?
Okay, I met her once.
Okay.
Like very recently.
How'd it go?
I'm so annoyed with myself. I don't even know why I'm telling this story. So I know Gail really well.
She's
and I'm
great.
at like,
Okay, first of all, Oprah, really? Oprah? This is who Emma idolizes, Oprah. I mean, I think we've all seen the dark side of Oprah and the people that she's associated with, like the Epsteins and the Weinsteins and all that kind of stuff, and how she was disingenuous about her taking Ozempic, and just some comments that she's made. She just doesn't seem like a very nice person. But here we have Emma fawning all over her as if she's some type of idol to be worshipped. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then Gail's like the original hanger-oner. The only reason why anyone knows who Gail is because Oprah shoved Gail down our throats for years. Remember when Oprah had her show still on daytime television? Gail was a permanent fixture, always on the show. And everyone was like, why? Because she's your best friend? It was weird. It was just really weird.
you know, like DVF has an Oscar luncheon. I'm feeling good. You know, it's like I've had a hard week, but I was feeling good. I look good. And I see Gail, and next to Gail is Oprah. And I'm like, Gail. And she doesn't like lip read me. So I run up to Gail.
Okay.
And I'm like, you have to introduce me to Oprah. And by this point, like, she's gone far. She's gone like up the hill. And so Gail like screams like, Oprah! And I'm like, oh my God. And so everybody, the whole party like turns to look at me. Oprah's walking towards me. In my head, I've been preparing for this conversation my whole life. I have sunglasses on. I don't take the sunglasses off.
Oh,
I
okay.
sweat profusely. She's holding my hand and
she's talking as if she's meeting one of Christ's apostles or the Lord himself or something. This is a type of reverence and awe that should be reserved for the Lord. Like, what is she talking about? Oprah goes to the bathroom and showers just like everybody else. This is ridiculous. You want to talk about idol worship? This is what that is. Like when she says, who are your idols? Well, these are the idols that people like this worship. It's really gross.
I don't even remember what I said. And I was like, oh, no, like that wasn't my Oprah moment. Like that wasn't it.
So
you'll have
that's
another
for me.
moment.
No, there'll be, listen,
Yes.
I'm 100% sure I'm channeling her into me. Like I know I'll have another
You
moment.
come up to Montecito for
She's channeling Oprah into her. Really?
lunch. We can plan a lunch.
Oh my God,
Would that
I've
be
just
fun?
scored
Plan
myself a
all the
date. That's
things
it.
that
We
you
can
wanna
finish the podcast now. Bye. But is there anyone that gives you the Oprah sweats like I got? Or maybe not the sweats, just someone that you admire or you just find so intriguing or whatever it might be.
Oh gosh, there's so many people in business, male and female. We talked about Melody Hobson. I admire her so much. Her business acumen. I think there's probably too many to
She's so into herself that she's struggling to find someone that she can say she admires. What does that tell you about who we're dealing with here? What would stop her from saying the Lord, God, my husband? How about Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II? Talk about an empowered female, loved and admired, respected. Someone who really did build a legacy. Do you think that name would ever fall from her lips? First and foremost, you should say the Lord is your inspiration and your guide, but we all know she won't do that. So she can't even throw out the Queen, Her late Majesty. She can't throw out her husband. I mean, who are we dealing with here? What kind of sick individual is this? It's really, really scary. She really is scrambling to try to find a name of someone that she admires. I mean, just throw out a name that people say all the time. Why don't you say, oh, Martin Luther King, or just anybody? Are you kidding me?
to count. And a lot of it also comes down to there are going to be people that are so well known. And then they're close friends that value their privacy in a different way that I want to say their names so badly right now. But one of my idols is my very best friend. She's a godmother to our children.
Oh.
I love how she carries herself in business. I think she is just a remarkable human being.
Okay, so maybe it's not as scary as I thought. But even then, she's not saying the name. I guess you don't necessarily have to say the name, But still, by not saying the name, she's not saying anybody. Wow. Just wow. I mean, I guess when you're your own God and you worship yourself, you can't answer that question.
The idols that exist on a very large scale, there's value there without question. But you can sometimes look at the people that are right in front of you and see them as idols as well.
Yeah. Listen, life gets really good when you are like that with your idols, when they're in your life.
Yeah.
And that's something.
Well, Meghan has an idol, and it's the almighty buck. That's her idol. But even beyond that, I think it's fame. I think if she had to choose money or fame, I don't know if she could choose, because with money, there's a lot of people out there that if you had a crap ton of money, you would just probably disappear and go be comfortable, live your life, give to charities, give to your family, give to your friends, make yourself comfortable, do whatever you're going to do. Point being, you would be out of the public eye and you wouldn't really have to worry about anything. She has that, but it's not good enough for her. She wants the fame. She wants the notoriety. She wants the respect that she believes she's entitled to. She's very entitled. She's selfish. She has an ego. She loves to be divisive. It's all about the fame for her. So that's why I think she wants fame even more than money, which is sick. Because they say money is the root of all evil, but I guess the pride and the ego that wants the fame, that might be even worse, my friends. That might be even worse. We need to pray for this woman. I've said it before. I'll say it again. She needs prayer, and she needs a lot of it. A lot.
Looking ahead, what audacious goal do you have that you are like looking forward to?
Oh, goodness. The scale of this business. I don't know if that's an audacious
Rapid
goal.
blink.
Is it audacious?
Yeah, I think so.
She wants to answer it. I want the fame. I want the money. I want the fame. I want the money. But she can't say that. So she has to be like, what can I say? What can I say? So she's going to throw in, I want happiness. I want joy.
What comes after that?
What does come after that? Do you know what you want to be doing in the next 10 years?
Not exactly, but probably in the wheelhouse of what it could be. I want to continue to work with really strong, creative people. I want to tap into the audience.
She'll be collecting alimony payments in 10 years, y'all. That's what she's going to be doing. That's my prediction. If she's not collecting alimony payments, it's because she has found someone as rich and or richer and dumber than Harry.
And so this is one chapter. Life has many chapters. And you have to think, and the next 10 years, we're both going to be in our 50s. Get excited. It's going to be great.
Are you excited?
Yeah. Would you ever do your 20s again?
I'm 51 and I'm doing pretty good. I actually was more upset about turning 40 than I was 50. I was like, 50, bring it on. I think I was still a little immature in my thinking about it when I was in my late 30s. I remember turning 35 thinking, oh my gosh, I'm closer to 40 than 30. And now I'm kind of like, yeah, bring it on. I do not care. I just don't care. After, having stage 3 cancer and being blessed enough by the grace of God to be alive after that, it really is just the cherry on the sundae of my life to even be here. I will say, though, that narcissists like Meghan have a really hard time with aging and getting older. And she was already altering and changing her appearance with nose jobs and fake hair and teeth and all of that type of stuff when she was younger. So something tells me that she's going to have a really hard time getting older. Just the amount of plastic surgery that she's had since she left the royal family, her face is completely changed. She's clearly on Ozempic, in my opinion. She's painfully thin. Again, there's a lot of self-loathing as a narcissist. That's why they're constantly trying to change and alter their outward appearance. And I'm not completely against plastic surgery, in that if someone really has something with their appearance that they don't like and they go ahead and change that and they feel better and they move on and they feel good, fine. But it's people like Meghan and so many in Hollywood that get thing after thing after thing after thing and they're still not happy. That's what I'm talking about. So I think she's really going to have a hard time getting older.
Hard no.
I can't even get the words out. Absolutely not, never.
No. So girls, enjoy your 20s right now.
Yeah,
if it's hard, don't worry, it will pass.
You do that. It will pass.
I think the 50s are going to be great. That will be a different audience I'm speaking to, where they will have grown with me. So I
don't think she'll have an audience by the time she reaches 50. In 7 years, she ain't going to have an audience because she already has zero trust with the public. There's a very, very small section of the public, her vapid and crazy fan base, that follow her and will do anything. There were people, rabid fans, that when they were talking about when her company was giving refunds to people, they were writing things on social media like, oh, she doesn't have to refund me. I'm just so happy to support her. Okay, so you want to pay for nothing. Then why doesn't she just throw a Venmo link out there to people and just say, hey, just give me money? She might as well. So it's, aside from those crazies, she ain't going to have an audience because no one is buying this crap. And we're getting more and more fed up with narcissistic liars. And give her time, give her enough rope. She's going to hang herself and she is going to deplatform herself. And hopefully her husband will smarten up, because I also believe that that man is in danger being married to this person, because she does not have his best interest at heart. She's all about her, and he just needs to protect himself and protect his children. Up to this point, he's just been acting like a petulant, angry child who is enabling her to continue to abuse him and everyone around her. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm sort of noodling on what I want to do then.
Finally, what advice would you give your younger self about ambition, about purpose, about public life? What would you say?
That is such a full question.
Go on, give me a full answer.
She's not going to give an answer, because narcissists don't feel like they have to learn anything, because they already feel that they know everything. So let's just see what she comes up with here.
Well, I would say that life is full of surprises. And also that, life is short. And I really believe that no matter what anyone is going through, that if you are able to say that, yes, this is going to pass, or this is amazing and let's really embrace it, that you're ultimately going to have that perspective we talked about earlier. You know that Khalil Gibran book, A Tear and a Smile?
So she hasn't answered the question yet. And if life is short, she shouldn't have said that, because all anyone is thinking that knows about her history and is watching this is saying, yeah, it's short. So go make up with your dad, Meghan. So she really put her foot in her mouth on that one.
In this life. And I think the moment that you can recognize that both are going to be true in your life, you can not just be in acceptance of it, you can actually be in gratitude for it. And to see what others might say is, I don't know, Jordan has a great quote. I'm going to butcher it, but he literally says, like, there are no failures, because every time he failed, I was learning something. So you're actually winning, because that knowledge is what you carry with you.
You know what she's talking about?
So I think, yeah, my younger self, gosh, she was my 15-year-old self. She was class president. She was multicultural club president. She was so busy.
If you're class president, don't you have to have a lot of friends that will vote for you? Don't you remember when she was trying to paint her narrative years back that she wasn't really popular and she was sitting alone at the lunch table, kind of like an outsider? Again, which Meghan are you? This is really scary. Just shapeshifter.
Yeah, I think my 15-year-old self would be really proud of me today. I do. And that makes me happy.
So good answer.
Thanks.
I have no doubt.
Thanks,
no
Emma.
doubt.
Good answer.
Aspiring for in your business life?
Success.
Oh boy.
Not just financial success, emotional success.
Great answer. And what are you currently aspiring for in your personal life?
Great answer.
Success. Emotional success. Yeah. Happiness.
What is a book that changed your life?
Ooh, Atomic Habits.
It's a good one.
It is a great book.
It's a great book.
Yeah, Atomic Habits.
Yeah, a book that's one of the highest rated ones off Amazon. So I know she filed that one away, right? If anyone ever asks me what books changed my life, go to one of the top books on Amazon and say that one.
The 4 Agreements.
Oh, another really good one.
Yeah. She's like, okay, Oprah's book club. Well, oh yeah, 4 Agreements. I got a book for you, Meghan. The Bible. Read that one. Read the Gospels. Read Proverbs. Read the Psalms. Find refuge in the Lord. The answers are in that book. They're in that book. The answers for all of us. We're all sinners. We're all lost without him. We need his wisdom. We need to all read that book a whole heck of a lot more than we do. That's my book club recommendation. Oprah would never recommend that book, but I would. And so would a lot of us out there.
Teachable moments.
Valuable. Something that
Teachable
you
moments in
valued
that one,
when you were
Meghan.
starting out that you no longer value.
It's not that I no longer value it, but decision by committee, meaning And you're like, do you think it's good? 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 Do you like that? Do you think it's good? Well, if you start asking everybody all the time, you will be dizzy with the ideas of it. So instead, ask your 2 trusted people or 3, whatever you're.
So she asked her, what do you kind of do away with now that you're older? And she's saying decision by committee, meaning she doesn't go around and try to ask everyone. She just comes up with it on her own. When in all actuality, that kind of would probably solve a lot more of her problems, because narcissists are so immune to criticism and they hate it so much that they don't really get any type of outside input. And that's one of the things that could really save her. And the outside input that she needs more than anything is from God. She needs his input in her life. Forget about whatever self-serving little mission she's on and her own self-worship. She needs to look outside of herself. So if you forget about decision by committee crap, just why don't you get with God? We all need to get right with God. We all do. Make no mistake about it. We all do. And I don't even know how many trusted people she has in her circle, because whoever she's consulting, if she is consulting anyone,
Handful of your,
your little committee,
your consigliaries, and then trust yourself.
What's something that you value now that you didn't back in the day?
Giving myself permission to take the space and the time that I need, the space for grace. Giving yourself a minute.
With all of her hired help and all the money she has, I guarantee you she has way more space and time and grace than most of us. Probably more than 95% of the world. She has such privilege. She's such a victim, and this is such a joke. And if you have stayed with me this long, you need a medal, you need something, a hug, a nap, maybe a nice glass of wine, or a glass of iced tea or something. I don't know, whatever you like, but treat yourself. That's what my husband would always say when we were dating, and we would go out and we would look at the menu and I would be like, what do I want? He'd be like, treat yourself. Like, we all need to treat ourselves after this, but we're coming to the end here. And
at the beginning, I probably did feel a little bit more like, okay, what this expectation, the moment that you can just like rejig that, I appreciate that I'm there now.
Great. I love that one. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
So good.
Okay, guys. I want to thank you for sticking with me. And it's kind of exhausting, but it is valuable. It's valuable to look and see these people who they are. And we have to unmask them. Even though they refuse to unmask themselves, we are smart enough and we know what we have to do. We have to unmask these fools and we have to call them out, because, you know, again, we all have faults. We all have narcissistic tendencies. We all have the capacity to hurt others, hurt ourselves, go down roads we shouldn't. But she has such an obligation to right her wrongs because she's in a position of influence. So to carry on the way she's carrying on, it's terrible. You know what, you guys, I have been at this for so long. I need to go ahead and take a breather, take a break. I want to thank you so much for watching with me, and please like, share, and subscribe. Pass this video on to someone who has a narcissist in their life and is maybe trying to make sense of the way that they talk and the way that they play with words and language. They might enjoy this one, but thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.
Yes, I would ask people to tell the truth. Tell the truth.